L.A Noire is an action-adventure game released by Rockstar Games in 2011. In the game, you play the role of Cole Phelps, a man who works as a detective in the mean, gritty streets of 1940s Los Angeles. It's your duty to examine evidence at crime scenes, question suspects and witnesses, and occasionally engage in fisticuffs and shootouts. One of L.A Noire's greatest strengths is its general presentation. Stylistically, it uses the film noir genre as a basis and does a fantastic job at replicating the genre's defining characteristics. If you were to compare L.A Noire to a film such as John Huston's The Maltese Falcon, you can see that there is a lot of attention to detail regarding the costume design and environments of the time. L.A Noire also replicates the tone of film noir with an expert level of craftsmanship and consideration. The opening narration is delivered with a deep, gravelly voice and provides you with a perfect entrance into the rich and deceptive world where L.A Noire takes place. The dark themes of murder and betrayal, which were prevalent in many film noirs of the 40s and 50s, are effectively implemented. One of L.A Noire's biggest features regarding presentation is of course the motion captured performances. This wasn't just a flex from Rockstar, tokenistically shoehorned into the game, it's a feature which is essential. A lot of the time, the player will have to read facial expressions to guess whether a suspect or witness is lying or telling the truth. The level of complexity that can be achieved with mocap really helps with this mechanic, and makes its inclusion feel completely justified. In certain instances, these facial expressions can give an unintentionally funny effect, which doesn't do much to help you solve the case. These instances are negligible in the grand scheme of things. There's also a disparity between the character models and their extremely detailed faces, but this is only noticeable upon scrutinisation and doesn't impact the game in a negative way. The story of L.A Noire tracks the progression of Cole Phelps from a rookie cop to a revered and skilled detective. The narrative has an episodic quality to it, in the sense that the game breaks the story up into different cases, which all have the through line of Phelps' progression in the police force. There are also some flashbacks that show Phelps as a soldier during the war, as well as newspapers which, when engaged with, show cutscenes that flesh out tabloid headlines. The military flashbacks really help to pad out Phelps as a character, because his level of discipline often makes him seem stoic and cold. It feels like the military flashbacks were included to give him some more humanity, as well as highlighting some of his flaws. As the story progresses, you are also introduced to Cole's perceptions on morality as well as his political opinions, which help you understand where he's coming from and why he doesn't always mix well with others. The sound design of L.A Noire largely hinges on the music. The music, which again is very indicative of the era portrayed, can range from dramatic string sections to enigmatic jazz. It feels eclectic enough to stay interesting, but is always era specific. A mysterious piano jingle will play anytime you are near an undiscovered clue, which helps to confirm whether an area has been successfully swept. The voice acting has a very crisp, dry mix, which goes well with the complex facial features it displays. This really adds to the realism that L.A Noire is attempting to convey. The gameplay of L.A Noire has a nice amount of variety. Shootouts, brawls and chases on foot and behind the wheel make up the action sequences, which are all adequate but can be skipped. The really interesting parts of the game are where you interview suspects and scan areas for evidence. In these sequences, you feel at one with the role of a detective. It's always rewarding when you correctly question a witness or suspect, as the jeopardy of only having one attempt at each question in your notebook means you must trust your instincts as a detective would. One witness or suspect being incorrectly questioned can have massive ramifications on the case. Scanning areas is simple but also a gratifying process, as you feel like you've used your own observations to lead you to different objects at the crime scene. There are also some light puzzles that help you uncover clues. These puzzles are enjoyable but on the easier side. The biggest downfall of L.A Noire's gameplay is that it doesn't feel like it needs to be an open world game. While driving between destinations that relate to the case, you are sometimes prompted to respond to dispatch calls. These calls are self-contained encounters, of which there are 40. Essentially the side missions of the game. Despite driving from place to place and answering dispatch calls, the open world feels superfluous, as there aren't many activities. Driving around the streets of LA can be quite satisfying, but the locations, although well designed, can become tiresome and sometimes repetitive in aesthetic. It's odd that Rockstar opted to greenlight this project, as it seems very niche by today's standards, but this has helped solidify L.A Noire's unique identity. L.A Noire is an awesome game that will let you experience all of your film noir detective fantasies. The gameplay is tight, and although the combat and chase sequences aren't anything special, examining crime scenes and questioning witnesses, along with their strong and engaging story, more than make up for this. L.A Noire is one of a kind. It has succeeded in combining genre elements of film noir and gameplay which is perfectly suited to its requirements. Although thematically L.A Noire feels very niche, it's accessible and has something for everyone.